cover new document setup, managing artboards, and file saving in Adobe Illustrator. I'm going to go ahead and open up Illustrator. Your welcome screen or dialog box might look a little different if you're in CS6, but all the same options are there. I'm going to go to File, New in the drop-down menus. I'll try to use the drop-down menus and not keyboard shortcuts because I find it easier to follow along when you're just learning the software. But do learn the keyboard shortcuts. They are listed in the drop-down menus next to the commands that you were looking at. So we're going to bring up this new document dialog box. I am not in the habit of naming my files at this point. You can either name them here or the first time you save. For the profile, we're going to hit print. The majority of the work you do in Illustrator will be for print. We're going to start with one artboard. We are going to use a standard letter size. Change the units to inches because they make more sense. And under advanced, ensure that you are in a CMYK color space, that is for print, and that your PPI is 300 thumbs print resolution. And then I'm going to hit OK. That will create our new document with single letter sized artboard. I'm going to toss a couple shapes here on the artboard just so there are some objects there to look at as we move along. Just a couple rectangles. I'm going to go to View, Zoom Out. Just shrink this down a little. I'm going to scroll that artboard over to the left of my workspace. To add new artboards, there are a couple ways to get at it. With nothing selected, I just clicked off with my selection tool. In the middle of the taskbar, there will be a document setup button. This will bring up a dialog box that will allow us to edit artboards. I'm going to click on Edit Artboards here in the upper right-hand corner. And now you can see we are in document setup mode. My workspace is a lighter gray, and my single artboard is selected. You can see the bounding box and crop marks. If I want to copy this artboard and all the objects on it, I can hold down the Alt or Option key on my keyboard. My cursor changes from the four-headed directional to two pointers, one black, one white. I can click and drag a copy of this artboard. See the ghosted image, and when I let go of my mouse, it creates a copy of that artboard. If I wanted this file to be my letterhead or branding collateral setup, I could now at this point say, okay, my artboard 1 here is going to be my palette and color palette and logo for copying and eyedropping colors into the rest of my files. My artboard 2 is going to be my actual letterhead, and I would also like to have in this file my business card front and back. So I need to create two more artboards that are business card size. I could copy this artboard and adjust the size, or I can go to, in the main taskbar, the new artboard button. Looks just like the new layer icon from Photoshop. And then as I hover down inside my workspace, it's going to show a ghosted image of a new artboard. I'm going to click where I want to drop it, and then I'm going to manually adjust the size up here in the taskbar. Business card is 3.5 inches wide. I'm going to make sure that my constrain chain link is unchecked so that I can independently enter these measurements. The height of a business card is 2 inches. I'm going to hit enter, and now you can see I have a business card sized artboard. I'm just going to move that up a little bit. We'll say that this is going to be the front, so what I need is a copy of this for the back. Again, I'm going to hold down Alt Option. My pointer changes to the double-headed arrows, one black, one white. And I'm just going to drag down a copy to use for the back of my business card. To get out of the artboard setup mode, I'm going to go back to my selection tool with the black arrow at the top of the toolbar. And now you can see what I have are two letter size artboards and room for my business card artwork also. I'm going to go to File, Save As. you always want to make sure that you save a native file copy of the documents you are working on. By default, the Save As dialog is going to come up as a .ai or Adobe Illustrator file. You can double check this in the Format dropdown at the bottom of the box, Adobe Illustrator AI. I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. And in the Options dialog box that comes up after that, you just want to make sure that the version is set to the version that you're going to be using. Sometimes you'll be sending artwork or working on a different computer later that might be on an older version of Illustrator, and you can specify that here in the Version dialog box. I'm going to leave mine set to CC. I'm going to hit OK. And now you can see in the workspace that the current tab for our document, the name has changed to letterhead.ai. If I need to save for print, I'm going to go to File, Save As again. But in the Format dialog at the bottom, I'm going to change that to Adobe PDF. I'm going to leave the name the same, or sometimes I will add a capital PR to the end of my file so that I know it's for print. I'm going to hit Save. That'll bring up the PDF dialog box. For printing, use the High Quality Print preset. Uncheck Preserve Illustrator editing capabilities. That adds a huge amount of file size. If you're going to email this, leave Optimize for Fast Web checked. Otherwise, you can uncheck it. I normally uncheck. And I always like to view my PDFs after saving as a double check before I take things to print. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. You can see it brings up Acrobat. I can scroll through my different pages, close that, back to Illustrator. You'll notice that the current document tab is now the letterhead pr.pdf. If I want to go back to working on that original AI file, I can go to File, Open Recent Files, open up my letterhead.ai, the native version. I can continue working in that, close the PDF I created, just so I make sure I'm not making changes in the wrong document. And then if I need to save a newer version of that PDF, I can do a Save As and save directly over my other saved PDF file. Save often as you work. It's also good practice to save different versions.